everybody. What is going on, LBHT crew? B Hendo. What's going on, my friends?
Not much.
Same old. I see people already getting disrespectful in the chat talking about 3-hour show. Y'all gonna be
pay the bills and put
wildly
them on milk
disappointed.
carton. Wow. Just because we take a couple extra minutes to make sure everything is right, something's got to be wrong. Okay. Listen, yes, we've been late. Of course, we've been late. Have you not seen the changes we're making around here? Okay. And there's Noah. It says YouTube's most wanted. In fact, speaking of Noah, let me see if this works. Let me see if this works. Hey! Shout out to Noah. The $5 donation. Appreciate it. It says, hola, mis amigos. Hola, Noah. That's how you start the show right there. Salute to you. Appreciate it. Coach Evans from Sip to Tally Films. I meant to text you earlier, Coach, but when I got home from work, I had to take a little nap. If I didn't take that nap, we would have canceled the show. I was tired. So I saw Coach's one of his videos earlier where he highlighted a hater. I'm pretty sure we blocked that guy. You know how haters do, man. They create another account, But this guy was just really upset with Coach on him being critical of the Ravens for not showing any footage of day one of the OTAs. And it's like you're telling Coach not to be emotional, but you're being emotional about something that you said is not a big deal, right? How can you cape that hard for an organization that does not care about you? I hope you guys understand this. They do not give a damn about you.
Not even
right?
one. Not a single one.
Not a single one. And then I started thinking, who in the Ravens organization is this? This is somebody that works for the Ravens. I am convinced they are that level of pettiness that a small channel, Coach is literally 5 times the channel size we are. He's not so small anymore, right? But I'm convinced they watch us, right?
Well,
I'm convinced
sure.
they gotta
figure out how to run the team,
right? Well, they watch Coach, but we've made enough appearances on Coach's channel for us to be on their radar too. They're like, but I'm certain that's somebody that works for the Ravens. You cannot go that hard in over OTAs unless you work for the team. They have to be paying you, right?
Or
they have to be paying.
You just got nothing else going on.
And they said it was 4:30 in the morning.
That's a damn shame.
You know who that is? That's like that guy that the guy that worked the mailroom for the Buffalo Bills for 30 years, and he was Josh Allen's number one fan, and he said he was he was it had to be Josh Allen for MVP and all this stuff, and Josh Allen gave him a shout out, and he broke down crying. Like that's who that is. There's somebody that works in the mailroom for the Ravens, and he's just like, I just need my shot. I just need to be heard, and EDC is going to give me a shout out in a new car, and it'll all be worth it. All those years of getting paid, $10.15 an hour finally paid off. What's going on, Zeke?
Wow.
That's what they pay you. They don't pay you a livable wage. What's up, Osmond?
That's not right at all. Cam, look, I would put up your messages, Cam, because I'll always appreciate meeting you. And that you're here every week, but you got to learn a third Spanish phrase for when Hendo is here. And until such a time, I will not be putting up the message. You can go right to the App Store, download Duolingo. You'll be good. All right, but you got to get a third one. You got to get a third one for Hendo. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You can't do a guy like that. All right.
I'm cool. What's up?
Hey, I appreciate that, Coach. He says, y'all, pick quality is on point. I appreciate that because if you can see what I'm looking at.
It don't look good on this
side. It looks awful. And we were doing a test run. I kept on asking him, like, are you sure I'm not pixelated? Because it feels like I'm pixelated. It feels like I'm delayed. But hey, that's the price to pay, I guess, for for quality. So I'll take it. As long as you guys, as long as you guys can see me clear, then it's worth it.
Well, thank you, Noah. He says he digs the comment appearance.
Nice.
Of course.
The whole appearance is going to be changing. It's going to be getting much better. This is just the beginning. But yeah, I'm really liking this new platform so far. Good Lord, Killer Cam.
You're welcome.
You already using Duolingo and you ain't got a third phrase? I mean, I use it too, and I whatever. All right, look. We're going to keep it moving here. That's good for you, though, Cam.
All right.
Keep it up. Keep it up. My streak's at like 320, but whatever. No big deal.
Slow time of the year, right? And we're not going to cover OTAs to that one fan's disappointment. Okay. Tracy said, "Wow, not $10.50 an hour." I said, "Well, I said $10.15 an hour, not $10.50." $10.50.
There you go, Bazel. I didn't see your comments. I do apologize, but we got you up there now. Thank you for coming through, Bazel.
Salute. Wait. Did he make it? Did I miss something?
No. He was just asking what about his comment from before.
Oh, hey, you know what it is, Bazel. Bazel's our guy, man. Salute to you.
Coach is here. Thank you very much, Coach.
Yes. And shout out to Tracy, man. Appreciate you coming through, Tracy. So it's slow, right? Yeah. So B and I discussed this topic, and it's a now versus then type of topic. Okay. The Ravens Super Bowl team versus the Ravens current team. Panthers Super Bowl team versus the current Panthers team. And you could, just on the face value, you could say it's obvious which ones is better, right? But are they better? Okay. Are those Super Bowl teams better than the current teams? That's what we're going to break down. And we're going to talk some NBA playoffs. And, sorry, Knicks fans, great season. It was magical. It's over. All right. Ant-Man fans, it's over. Okay. And I heard that he needs to go home and be a family man. That's what Kendrick Perkins said. We're going to talk about that on the overtime show. Okay. So that's going to be the show. It's going to be a shorter show. I know we say that every time we say it's going to be a shorter show, it ends up being 2 hours, but not tonight.
Nope.
Not tonight. It's going to be a shorter show, but we're going to have fun. And we're going to have some more fun on the overtime show. All right. Do we have a Black History Fact, B?
Yeah.
We better. Oh.
Okay. All right.
I don't know why you always ask it like I've ever not come through.
Because I woke up. I woke up 20 minutes before the show started, and we discussed everything that we are going to discuss on the show. So I wasn't sure. This topic we knew ahead of time.
There ain't no highlighted comment up there, Bazel. Unless you're talking about the comment that I think you're talking about, and there ain't no chance in hell I'm putting that up.
Wait, did he?
He didn't. No, there's no highlighted comment. He's talking about a comment that he made. Huh.
No, he did. I'm sorry, Bazel.
I don't see any comment there.
No. I had to add that. No, he's right. You're right, Bazel. That's not on B. That's me. Okay, I got you. Go ahead and talk for a second.
I mean, once again, well, if there is a highlighted comment, I do apologize, Baza. I don't see it over here. Jose says he's got it, but we'll see. But I'm more upset about Jose right now, trying to ask me if there's a Black History Fact, like there ain't a Black History Fact every single week. If there's not going to be a Black History Fact, I always hit him up and I let him know. Well in advance.
There you go.
There we go.
Thank you, Baza. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
But and I didn't say that to Jose this week. I didn't say, hey, no Black History Fact this week. But week,
you didn't read the comment.
But every week, you're supposed to be reading the comments, man. This is on you now. We switched roles.
Bazel said, y'all late. He needs his reparations. Okay.
No. You sent your reparations through Cash App just now. My bad. Oh, you're bad. No. See, everybody thought this was going to be difficult on me. Trying to start the show and getting everything scheduled and all that. Jose didn't think about how he was going to have to keep track of the comments over there and the donations. It's killing me. It's killing me.
There's something B's leaving out, though.
What's that?
I gave you everything to put together for the show.
No, my friend.
B didn't
my
create any
friend.
thumbnails. B didn't put together his show
I didn't
notes.
create the thumbnail, but I did the description and the title. I had it set up, but
No.
whatever though.
You did a
Whatever though.
placeholder. I did the
Whatever though.
description.
Listen. If you want to come in after the fact and do the work again, that's on you. That doesn't say anything about me. All right, it was already in there. Okay,
Tell that to the algorithm. Okay,
listen.
Tell that to the algorithm.
Listen, I heard YouTube talking about ignore the algorithm the other day.
Yeah, they're liars.
Oh wow. Okay, well,
Yep.
I bet the algorithm appreciated that.
Liars. Yeah.
I bet the algorithm appreciates that, my friend.
Oh well.
But anyway, yes. To answer your incredibly disrespectful question, there is a Black History fact, and we are going to go ahead and play that right now.
This week on the LBHT Black History Fact, in 1948, South Africa underwent a dramatic transformation when the white-dominated National Party assumed power. This marked the beginning of apartheid, a state-sanctioned system of racial segregation designed to marginalize non-white citizens and curtail their rights drastically. Under apartheid, laws and policies were crafted to enforce separation in every aspect of life, from education and healthcare to where people could live and work. This institutional discrimination laid the foundation for decades of struggle and unrest in the nation. Amid this oppressive regime, one man rose to become the emblem of resistance and hope: Nelson Mandela. Mandela's commitment to justice and his fearless opposition to apartheid resonated not only across South Africa, but around the globe. His journey was fraught with personal sacrifice, culminating in 27 years of imprisonment under harsh conditions. Rather than breaking his spirit, these years transformed Mandela into a symbol of unwavering determination, a beacon for those fighting against injustice. As the internal dissent grew louder, and the international community increased its pressure, South Africa's rigid apartheid system began to crumble in the early 1990s. The winds of change swept the nation, paving the way for a groundbreaking new era. In 1994, Nelson Mandela was elected as South Africa's first black president, a historic milestone. Mandela's presidency was not just about political leadership. It signaled a new commitment to truth, reconciliation, and the healing of a deeply divided society. Mandela's legacy endures as a powerful reminder of the strength of the human spirit. His vision for a future defined by unity and inclusivity continues to inspire movements for justice worldwide. Even today, his life's work invites us to reflect on the transformative power of resilience, forgiveness, and the tireless pursuit of equality.
Salute to the Black History Fact. All right, B. So break down the rules for this then versus now battle, if you will.
Well, first, on the answer, Killer Cam here, he says, are y'all fine with Owe bulking up 20 pounds? No. As you said yourself, Cam, that went horribly when he tried it before. He looked like he didn't know how to move in that body. I'm not sure why it would go much differently the second time around. He's been playing well, and I think he needs to lean into what's been working for him rather than trying to reinvent the wheel each offseason.
Well, look, I mean, he's naturally going to get bigger, right? So some of that may not, some of that might just be natural. Like he's growing into his grown man body type of thing. And if he feels like, hey, I know what went wrong last time, I'm good now. It is what it is, man. I don't worry too much about that. Just go out there and produce, man. This is a big year for you. So.
I don't mind it as long as he keeps his dexterity. Like we discussed before with Coach, he lost his bend. He wasn't able to dip around the corner. Like, he was real stiff. Now, if he found some way to limber up a little bit and bulk up, I understand, because in the playoffs, he said, I got pushed around. Like, I wasn't able to hold my own, and he added a little bit of weight to kind of be able to endure throughout the season and kind of dig deep when they need him the most. So I don't have a problem with it as long as he continues to grow and ascend. Now, yeah, it's a big year for him, but if it's too big a year for him, he's going to price himself out of Baltimore.
Yeah, too big a year and pricing himself out of Baltimore would be another 7 sacks or whatever. Like, they're not bringing him back. They're not bringing him back. Now, moving on to
shout out to NBT Sports. I see you in the chat. And Zico Kage, Big Cuz, Andrew, Clot. I think we got everybody. Pay the bills. We shouted you out. Game Too Easy. I think we got everybody. I think DDSQ. Salute.
We also did get another cash app. While Jose's bringing that up, what he's referring to, the then versus now, we're going to talk about the skill positions, and that being quarterback, wide receiver, running back, tight end, for the current iteration of the Carolina Panthers and the Baltimore Ravens versus what they had the last time they went to the Super Bowl. This was inspired by Jay the Six in the chat. He sent us a graphic showing the then versus now for the Carolina Panthers, and we decided to go ahead and talk about the Baltimore Ravens as well. It is shocking, or at least it was to me, how close these rosters were when you consider.
Shout out, Andrew. Appreciate that. He said, getting off work. Glad I can make the show. We're glad you can make the show too, Andrew. Appreciate you.
Thank you. But yeah, like I said, I was shocked how close these rosters were, considering, particularly in Carolina, the gap in the results right on the field. But we'll go ahead and we'll just jump right into it. I'm not sure which one I had up here first. I believe it's Carolina.
So yes. Skill position meaning offensive players. I thought it was a little racist to leave out the defensive skill positions, but whatever.
And I told you that nobody refers to defenders as skill position players. They are violent thugs out there on the field.
We don't discriminate over here.
But here we are looking at the Carolina Panthers from Hendo. You don't have to.
I just have one question. I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you. I want to make sure you were finished. I just have a question. So when it comes to the Carolina Panthers and the Baltimore Ravens, as far as these graphics go, are they equally yoked?
What do you mean they equally yoked? What is that?
I'm just asking. I see this pretty illustration of the Carolina graphics right now. And what's the Baltimore Ravens? Is it going to look this pretty? That's my only question.
I don't know what you're talking about, honestly. So we're gonna keep it moving. I don't know why you would even have a question like that.
We're gonna get a spreadsheet for the next.
You know what's really crazy is, I don't know how many of y'all noticed it, but when we switched to this new scene with the graphic, I actually moved into the same office that Jose's in. Don't let that alarm you. We're all right. We're gonna leave that alone for now. We'll get that.
If you didn't say anything, nobody would have noticed.
Nobody would have paid
taken care of for next time. So what we have here, the Carolina Panthers from 2015, when they went 15-1, won the NFC Championship, and went to the Super Bowl and went on to lose to the worst quarterback in the league, Peyton Manning, and the Denver Broncos. They had at quarterback Cam Newton, running back Jonathan Stewart, Ted Ginn, Devin Funchess, and Jericho Cotchery making up the wide receiver core, and Greg Olsen at tight end. Fast forward about a decade, and we've got Bryce Young, and you got Chuba Hubbard, who's coming off the best year of his career, Teteroa McMillan, who was a top 10 pick this season, Adam Thielen, Xavier Legette, and at tight end, Tommy Tremble. So, obviously, if we start at the quarterbacks, right? Obviously, Cam is better than Bryce Young. Bryce has had a hot half a season, and he looked great in that half of the season. He performed as top 5, top 10 quarterback for that half a season, but it was only half a season, and for the other year and a half of his career, he looked terrible. So we have to, of course, give the nod to Cam Newton, who won the MVP that year. He had, I believe, it was 35 passing touchdowns to 10 interceptions, added another, I think it was 10 rushing touchdowns, and was dominant pretty much every week. So they would have to get the nod. The 2015 squad would have to get the nod there. You move to running back, and this is an interesting one because Jonathan Stewart is a very, very good running back, or was a very good running back. He was a first-round pick out of Oregon. He was part of double trouble with D'Angelo Williams. I think he would have had a much more productive career statistic-wise if he had, been the bell cow back.
Bulk of the carries.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you move him up against Chuba Hubbard, who, again, is coming off the best season of his career. And I have to say that the current roster is better at running back because it's not just Jonathan Stewart versus Chuba Hubbard, right? It's Chuba Hubbard, another 1,000-yard back in Rico Dowdle, and then Trevor Etienne, who they just drafted. And you can even throw in Raheem Blackshear there, who contributes on special teams and in the pass game sometimes. Whereas behind Jonathan Stewart, as we saw in the Super Bowl, it was Fat Mike Tolbert.
You had Fat Mike.
It was Fat Mike Tolbert who fumbled twice in that game.
Pro Bowl Fat Mike.
Go ahead and you go ahead and give your opinion. I'm telling you the truth right now. It is Chuba, Rico, and Trevor. You go ahead.
I don't know. Is Rico better than Fat Mike?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. But Jonathan Stewart's better than Chuba.
Yeah, I think Jonathan Stewart's better than Chuba. But again, it's a group effort. And
who else is on the team outside of Stewart and Tolbert?
It was Fat Mike. That was pretty much
it. It was just two.
Yeah, I want to say it may have been Goings. Nick Goings was on there as well, but I can't remember.
The rest of those. You got a rookie on the team. The other guy got hurt last year.
Cameron Artis Payne and Fozzie Whitaker. So nothing.
Fozzie.
You don't really have anything outside of Rico Dowdle on the team.
They have 2,000
after Rico Dowdle. Yes. But we already established Jonathan Stewart, even though he didn't have 1,000 yards, he's better than Chuba Hubbard, right? Mm-hmm. If you want to say Dowdle's better than Mike Tolbert,
but
you think Chuba Hubbard's better than Jonathan Stewart?
The next three, the next three running backs on the roster combined had under 600 yards. So, Rico Dowdle wipes them out altogether. Like, he is a starting running back.
I'm going to give it to Chuba because Jonathan Stewart, for me, he just couldn't stay healthy for his whole career. So he wasn't dependable, even in the Super Bowl.
Okay. You don't remember that one run against Jacksonville where he hit the ground and then slid for 67 yards in the rain? That was an incredible play. I don't think Chuba could do that. Big Cuz asking who was Stewart's backup. It was Cameron Artis Payne. It was Fozzie Whitaker. But really it was Cam and Mike Tolbert is who they were. Right now, Chuba is not better than Jonathan Stewart, but he's fairly close. And then Rico Dowdle being another starting caliber running back, being another 1,000-yard running back. And then, we don't know exactly what he's going to be in the NFL because he hasn't played yet. He's a rookie. But Trevor Etienne is a pretty highly thought of prospect. And, he's the third guy. So I think the running back room clears the Super Bowl team easily.
Okay.
Then we,
okay.
You know what? I'm gonna skip down to the bottom because that's another easy one. Tight end. No. I'm saying then we're gonna come back to wide receiver because that's the one.
Right. But
Greg Olsen. Easy. Greg Olsen, obviously. You could line up. You could give me 15 Tommy Trembles. And what I mean by that is you could give us 26 guys on the field, and 15 of them are Tommy Tremble, and I'd still just take the one Greg Olsen.
Yeah. There's no comparison there. Greg
Pay
Olsen.
The bills. You gotta. I hate when I see people say this. The best ability is availability. No, it isn't. If you suck, I don't care that you're here. Yeah, that's just the fact.
I'd rather you weren't available.
Yeah, I would take 8 games of a great player versus 17 games of a garbage player. No, availability is not the best ability.
But but I get your point though. You need to be available.
He was available.
It's not always.
All right, we're gonna throw it in reverse here. We're gonna hit this wide receiver room.
Let's do it.
Jesus Christ, MDT. No, he is not. You're so close to getting banned. Like, I don't even.
NDT said Mark Andrews is better than Greg Olsen. You gotta read the comments out loud for the.
I didn't want that to go out there. I was just sending a message to MDT. All right, 2015. 2015. This wide receiver room played in the Super Bowl. There's also one guy who's not on here, and Corey Brown doesn't need to be on there. But we've got Ted Ginn Jr., former top 10 pick out of Ohio State, because you can never trust a Buckeye. Devin Funchess, former second round pick out of Michigan, because you can't trust anybody in the Big Ten. And then Jericho Cotchery, former Jet, but more recently former Steeler, because you can never trust a Steeler. These guys could not catch to save their lives. Not one of them. Jericho Cotchery was coming off.
I remember. I was gonna say, I remember this year as it was going on, and when it got towards the end, it was clear that Cam was winning MVP. He had an amazing year. I remember, I can't remember which game it was, but Ted Ginn dropped another one of his, should have been touchdown passes, and I looked at B and I said, if Ted Ginn makes 3 extra catches this year, he could have easily had another 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he would easily be an All-Pro, because Ted Ginn, though he couldn't catch, had blazing speed, always got open, always getting open, wide open, and Cam would throw some beautiful bombs to him, and he just drop it. And I'm like, we talking about 3 catches that would have changed. That he would have had a little star next to his name for that year for All Pro and Pro Football Focus. Okay, just 3 catches, and that changed the way we looked at him somewhat.
And just to respond to the people in the chat, just going back to tight end real quick, the talk about Mark Andrews being better than Greg Olsen is laughable. Greg Olsen at his peak had 5 straight seasons over 800 yards and 3 straight seasons over 1,000 yards. Mark Andrews has, let's see,
1.
He has no. He's got 3 seasons over 800 yards in his career.
1,000.
Yeah, he has 1,000 yard season and 3 seasons over 800 yards in his career. He's not the guy that you think he is. Moving on, Jericho Cotchery was coming off of a 10 touchdown season. Remarkably, because he was on a stacked offense in Pittsburgh, and he got a lot of red zone touchdowns while the defense was covering their real receivers. He came into Carolina, didn't do a whole lot, and played a major role. And to be fair, this wasn't his fault, but he played a major role in them losing the Super Bowl when he caught a 3rd down pass that was overturned on review because he bobbled it. And it was a catch, but he bobbled it. They went to the review. They said no catch. Next play, Cam got, I think it was actually a 2nd down play, but the next play, Cam got sacked, stripped. Broncos picked it up, scored the touchdown, game over. And then later in the game, Jericho Cotchery was covered like a blanket, step for step, 20 plus yards downfield by a linebacker by the name of Von Miller. So I didn't like that. He caught the ball inside the 5 and let Von Miller just knock it out of his hands. So I've got nothing but hate for this entire wide receiver core from 2015.
Ali, I had to put you in timeout, bro. I had to put you in timeout. 10-minute timeout, okay? You can't put that in there.
No.
All right? You can't put that in there. I know you're being funny. Timeout!
No, he wasn't being funny. He's just a hater.
He's not a hater.
Yeah, he is. He posts comments in like that all the time.
I don't know.
If you fast forward to this year, Adam Thielen is better than every receiver that Carolina had in 2015, which is true. It's true and sad. It's true
this washed version of Adam Thielen is better than that.
All of them. Even a tight end, Devin Funchess.
If you look at Xavier Legette, who we has some well-documented drop issues. He and Jalen Coker both were over 400 yards and a few touchdowns. That's better than what they got out of Jericho Cotchery that season. And then, of course, you have the top 10 pick who looks like, I mean, obviously he hasn't played yet, but looks like he could walk in and just be the number one receiver in Carolina. So I have to give this to the current team as well.
Agreed.
Wait, you talking about the O-line?
No, the wide receivers. We're not doing O-line.
I'm sorry, because I saw somebody put that in the chat.
Come on. Come on.
Yes, Philly's saying Adam Thielen ain't better than Ted Ginn. Yes, he is. Ted Ginn cannot catch.
At all.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Was they freezing there? What's going on?
I thought he was being Max.
Did I freeze for a second?
For a second, yeah.
Uh-oh.
And my camera's
Android
gone.
time.
See, here we go. It's happening. I'm back. I'm back.
Didn't happen to me and B.
No, Tedero, he hasn't taken a snap yet. So, I don't like to project in things like this when we're making comparisons. You know what I mean? But he looks like he could be a really good player.
Hold on, I mean? One second. Filthy says that Ted Ginn was Deshaun Jackson before Deshaun Jackson. Real quick, without looking up, did he ever cross 800 yards in a season?
And if he's asking you that question, you already know the answer.
Because he can't catch. He would have been that guy.
Speed.
He would have been that guy, but he can't catch. So no, he was not Deshaun Jackson before Deshaun Jackson.
But yes, but like we said, Adam Thielen is better than everybody on that roster, and that says a whole lot.
And even if you want to say that Thielen's not better, if you add in Tedero, you expect out of Tedero what you actually got out of Xavier and Jalen Coker. This room is better than what they had in 2015, which is why that team did not win the Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos, right? Yeah. Denver and Carolina. Well, Denver was carried by an elite defense. I mean, they had Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware on the edges. They had 3 first-round corners. Carolina ran out there with a pretty mediocre O-line, and it was a defensive battle, I guess we could say. But Carolina just did not have the firepower on offense to overcome what Denver was throwing at them. It was Cam versus the world, essentially, and especially once Jonathan Stewart got hurt early in the game. Man, Filthy, speed-wise, everybody, you can make a list a mile long of guys who were Deshaun Jackson before Deshaun Jackson. It don't mean anything. He can't. He's a garbage. He's a bad wide receiver. Overall, yeah. And what did they say about him? And when they picked him in the top 10, they said we got a great punt returner.
Yeah, they did.
You know who said that? Who said that? So who was where? Here's a little trivia. Uh-huh. Where was he drafted? Who was a coach?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and B already said what did he say about him?
Yep.
What did he say about him? Where was Ted getting drafted? He was drafted not position. He was drafted like number 9 overall. What team was he drafted to? Who was the coach? And what did that coach say about him when they drafted him? Because I'm gonna give you a little hint. He got booed for that pick. He got booed for that pick. Yeah,
he was terrible. He was a terrible coach, and terrible at his other job too.
Yes. Kelly got the first part. Miami. Yes, he went to Miami. Who was the head coach? Who was the head coach? And when he got booed for picking him, what did he say?
Wasn't Nick Saban.
It was not Nicky. He had already exited. Nick Saban coached about 10 games before he said, "Yo, I'm out. I can't handle these grown men."
Talk about
Yeah.
All right. Give you a hint.
It goes both ways.
Give you a hint. There's a tie in between this channel. That should give you a hint.
Yes.
What was the Saban?
Killer, you said Nick Saban already, and then Hendo was like, it wasn't Nick Saban, and then you're like, was it Saban though?
I'm not gonna lie. Every week I'm disappointing your guys' Google skills. How hard is it to go? So he got drafted to Miami. Okay, when you Google, I'm gonna help y'all out. When you Google Ted Ginn Jr., you look at the Wikipedia, it will pull up his information when he was drafted to Miami. So you look at the year, the Miami Dolphins, and put in head coach of Miami Dolphins for that year, and it will pop up.
Yeah.
It'll pop up. I'm not even going to ask you guys to tell us what was said about Ted Ginn, because you'll be here forever. What did that coach say about Ted Ginn when he was drafted B?
Again, that he was they got a good punt returner in the top 10.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all. He was fired to help the Ravens win the Super Bowl. If that'll help y'all, if that'll help y'all out. He was fired to help the Ravens win a Super Bowl.
Look, there's like 60 people in here, man. First of all, wake up. Okay? Wake up. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. All right. Yes, pay the bills. Yes, it was Cam Cameron. Okay.
Disgusting.
It was Cam Cameron. Yes, killer. Okay, yes. Finally. Cam Cameron was the head coach. They booed the hell out of him, and he said, "Listen, we got a great kick returner." And they booed even louder.
As they should.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what you're looking for. But so that's the list. I think that if you look overall, just at the skill position players, 2025 hasn't beat. I know that there's a big gap, obviously, between Cam and Bryce Young, but man, like the wide receiving group easily to this year, the running back group to this year, obviously tight end. I don't think it's really fair to put Tommy Tremble up there. He's not going to be the starting tight end, but still, Greg Olson's obviously better. But I think overall, you got to give this 2025. And if we did include the O-line, that would go 2025 their way as well. Obviously, on the defensive side, you have Luke Kuechly, right?
That's where it evens out. That's where it starts to even out.
A superstar, first ballot Hall of Fame, one of the greatest of all time type defenders on that side of the ball. And there were some other, obviously talented players there as well. So they were one of the top units in the league, which is where, or part of how this team managed to go 15-1 and get to the Super Bowl to begin with.
Who was the guy he played beside? I call him Mr. ACL.
Oh, Lord. I mean, it's so disrespectful.
What?
It's so disrespectful.
He tore his ACL 3 times.
I understand.
But the thing
Josh Norman was also on that team as well.
But the thing I admired about him was he didn't lose his speed after those 3 surgeries. He was still fast. What was his name?
You talking about the Miami linebacker?
He had a scar.
No, he went to Georgia. He was a safety. He moved to linebacker. I'm going to see if Hendo can remember it.
I can't remember
in his second half century.
Thomas something.
Oh, you're so close. So close. he's the fake Ray Lewis, man. Come on, you got it.
Yeah.
Thomas Davis.
Okay, well the chat's voted for you.
Yeah.
All right. That's embarrassing for you, Hendo. That is embarrassing for you.
Thomas Davis.
But yeah, if you throw in the O-line, like this offense, I think is going to be the talent wise, the offense is better than what they had in 2015. They're not going to perform that way because Cam was just out of his mind that season. But it is encouraging to see the young group of players that they brought in to kind of surround Bryce Young as he tries to keep his momentum from the second half of last season. Now we're going to move on to the Baltimore Ravens.
Get that graphic.
That's right.
See it.
There it is. And it's outstanding. You got Lamar and Joe in the background. Everything. Okay.
You can't see it.
Look. You can see it. You can't see them? You can't see them? Y'all need to get your eyes checked. All right. So we've got the 2012 Baltimore Ravens and the 2025 Baltimore Ravens. This year, obviously, they're rolling out with Lamar Jackson, 3-time MVP. Don't care what you say. Running back, they've got Derrick Henry, and then we've got, now I remember. I forgot this guy's name now. The backup running back. Great year.
Justice Hill?
Justice Hill. There it is. And Keaton Mitchell coming back off of injury. And then you've got Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins at the wide receiver spot, and Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, obviously, at tight end. Looking at the 2012 team, you got Joe Flacco, Ray Rice, Anquan Bolden, Torrey Smith, Jacoby Jones, and Mr. One Hip himself, Dennis Pitta.
Wow.
What?
This is pre bad hips.
Listen,
this is before the
Coach.
bad hits.
Coach saying protest at tight end 1. Go talk to Jonathan Harbaugh. Don't talk to me, because Isaiah Likely is not your starting tight end.
I feel you, Coach. I feel you. It should be Likely at this point, but Mark Andrews is a tight end 1, and he's still on the team, so it is what it is.
What is this? What is this boo? What is this? You ain't right.
Wait. What are you?
What
are you
this
booing?
Lazy Brodny. What? Look.
Oh yeah.
Look.
It's boo.
First of all, why do you assume that I made the graphic? Okay, that's hurtful. That's hurtful in and of itself. Second of all, why don't you boo Jose for not making a graphic for his team? Third, why do you think you deserve it?
I did this. Look how easy it is.
You deserve it. First of all, why do you think you deserve better?
Who said, look at me? I'm the captain now. I run the ship.
Yeah.
I didn't say that for graphics. Who was sitting over there talking like, you didn't make a thumbnail? That was Jose. Okay? Anyway, listen, y'all don't deserve it. I'm going to let y'all take the lead here. What are you thinking at quarterback when you've got the 3-time MVP versus the Super Bowl champion, Joe Flacco?
Yeah, look, he made an amazing run. But obviously, there's no question Lamar Jackson is better, right? We don't got to go any further than that. Now, Ray Rice at his peak, in fact, that Super Bowl year was amazing, right? An amazing player. Not Derrick Henry, okay? And who was the backup then? Was that Pierce?
Yep.
Bernard Pierce. Bernard Pierce was solid. Bernard Pierce was solid. He was a solid player. Him and Justice Hill are probably on the same level, I would say.
I would take Justice.
I'd take Justice.
Especially once he learned how to block.
Facts.
Justice had I'm partial to Justice Hill, man. I really like how he played last year. Me and B had high hopes for him coming out of college, and he did really well in his role last year. But I mean, Derrick Henry is an all-time great running back. So I mean that's the argument that kills the argument. Now, wide receiver core, 2012 got it, man. 2012 got it. Anquan Bolden is better than Zay Flowers. Torrey Smith is better than Rashad Bateman. Now, DeAndre Hopkins is better than Jacoby Jones, but this version of DeAndre Hopkins versus that version of Jacoby Jones, I don't know, because Jacoby Jones, yes, could not, and you gotta remember he was an amazing returner too.
Facts.
Right, an amazing returner. He made some big plays for us that year. I might take that version of Jacoby Jones over this version of DeAndre Hopkins, but the season hasn't been played yet. But that version of Jacoby Jones versus this version of DeAndre Hopkins might be better. So it might be a sweep at wide receiver for 2012.
Ooh. My man Philly said Ray Rice equals Justice Hill. Wow.
What?
Well, Justice Hill is not a starter.
He says he thinks Justice Hill has potential to be a 2,000-yard back.
Come on, hey, guys, please watch some other football. I like Justice Hill. He's not that.
They are fans of Justice.
What's up, Kim? Kim says there's no I in Team B.
But like Kobe says, there's an M-E in that mother. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. I agree. The wide receiver core from 2012, hands down better than what they've got right now.
In fact, I'd be saying, he said Panthers had a PowerPoint, Ravens got Google Docs.
Whatever, man. Okay? It is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah,
you're lucky you got this much, because the first version of this I said they didn't even have the players in the background.
It didn't.
I was gonna be like, look, it's purple. It's good to go. That's all that matters.
Tight end. Who we got tight end?
Dennis Pitta, all day, every day.
You got Dennis Pitta?
How many touchdowns does Mark Andrews have in the playoffs?
Yeah, I'm about to say. I was about to go there.
Listen, Pitta caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and Ed Dixon had a long reception to help get us in position. Like, overall, likely is better than Ed Dixon. But when it comes to
Yes.
Pitta and Andrews, Pitta was the better playoff and pressure performer. So I got to give it to 2012.
I would
give it
give it
20
to 20. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying I would give it to 2025 because Isaiah Likely is a legit playmaker, right? I think
Yes.
I think he's a very good player. But Mark Andrews is a legit negative in the playoffs. Like he's not even just not good. He detracts from what you're trying to do.
Facts.
So with that factored in, I had to take Pitta and Dixon.
I'm still gonna go 2025 because we got Charlie Kolar on the team that is a big contributor, right? They didn't have a third tight end on that team that I can remember.
They did. His name was Billy Badgerman.
Yeah.
Billy Badgerman.
So if we look at the whole unit, this tight end unit is stronger overall, even though Mark Andrews is a detriment in the playoffs. Okay.
Facts.
You know what's crazy? I know they're not listed here because Baltimore's one team that has them. But fullback, I'm taking 2012's fullback as well. Obviously,
No.
Well, hard this year, and Vontae Leach back in 2012.
Vontae Leach.
I'm gonna take
Leach.
You check. I think he left.
He came a year after
that year. Oh, he came something like that.
No, he came. Yeah, he came afterwards.
Yeah,
he came a year afterwards.
Yeah, even fullback. Yeah, much better.
Vontae Leach would lay you out.
Now, the only thing is he wouldn't gain as many yards because he would turn around to try and find some contact when he had the ball. So you don't really like that. But, I'll take him as a whole over the racist.
All right, man. Let it go, B. Okay? He was 15.
No, he wasn't. He was in the league.
Okay. I tried to help you. Sorry. He was 12.
O-line is no comparison.
Osmond no comparison. O-lines. Yeah, 2012 kind of murders 2025 in the O-line department.
So yeah, so when we add in the rest of the units, okay, yes, O-line. I mean, this was under Ozzie. Ozzie kept the teams with good O-lines, so no comparison there. I mean, we have guys that aren't starting on this team today. Defense. Now this is a good question. How do you guys compare the defense then to the defense now? Because people forget there's a lot of big names on that 2012 team. Right. They were past their primes. A lot of them, not everybody, but they're past their primes, and the defensive unit as a whole wasn't great that year.
All right.
But also, our defense sucked last year.
Pitta probably better than Andrews right now with his one hip.
In the playoffs,
they were a middle of the pack defense in 2012. I would take this year's defense. I think that this year's defense is going to be much better than what you saw last season from Baltimore. And that 2012 defense just wasn't very good.
I'm going to take 2012's defense. Even though they were middle of the pack, the one thing that they did do was create turnovers. They created turnovers versus Tom Brady. They created turnovers versus the 49ers. They created turnovers versus Peyton Manning and the Colts, because the Colts got 2 special teams return touchdowns. Corey Graham returned one to keep the game close. They intercepted Peyton Manning at the end of the game to kick the game-winning field goal. Like, that defense created so many turnovers, even though they gave up a lot of yardage. When it came time to buckle down, even at 4th down, even those 4 downs at the end of the Super Bowl, they did what they needed to do. I mean, Bernard Pollard was knocking people out. We had a young Jimmy Smith. Like, Ray and Ed were a little bit older, but we still had Prime T. Sizzle. We still had Haloti Nada. Like, we still had guys that could play. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with 2012.
Yeah, I heard that you took care of that turnover issue by drafting Malachi Starks and Matt Green. So there you go.
That year, I think 2 things happened. There are 2 injuries. Didn't Suggs have
he got hurt
bicep?
Early.
He got hurt early.
He tore his Achilles early in the offseason and came back.
Okay.
And Ray Lewis tore his bicep.
Ray Lewis tore his bicep, and then he came back towards the end. So those are 2 major factors that contributed to the defense not being great throughout the season, right? But even that aside, and yes, I expect the defense to play better. Like, I mean, I wouldn't take any of these guys on the team over that version of Ed Reed. Right? It was right before he fell off the cliff. He was on the edge, but he ain't fall off the cliff yet. Okay. And there is no Suggs on this team. There is no Haloti Nada on this team. You know, there's no Ray Lewis on this team. There's somebody that, you know, we want to be Ray Lewis. There's no Ray Lewis on this team, because even that version of Ray Lewis could diagnose a offense way better than Roquan. And this is not just to Roquan, but Ray Lewis is one of the all-time greats. So I would take that defense over this defense.
Listen, all of that is true, right? I'm not going to argue with any of those specific points, but I will just remind you that in the 4 playoff games, they gave up over 30 twice. They just were not a very good defense.
But they got turnovers.
Okay, but they also gave up over 30 twice. I mean,
okay. So listen. Against Denver,
it's defense and special teams.
No, against Denver, Trent Holiday had a punt return and a kick return for a touchdown.
Yep,
it's 14 right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the defense didn't give up 30 points.
Super Bowl, they gave up the safety at the end to make it 31 points. So technically, they didn't give up 30 points in that game as well. So
Super Bowl, they tried to sabotage us. Okay, we was running them off the field, and they said, great halftime show. How about you take an extra 30 minutes,
right,
to completely cool off? And when old people have, when they cool off, their joints get tight and everything. They knew what they were doing.
But sadly, that playoff run was the start of the demise of Ray Rice. Like, you could see during that playoff run, he was starting to lose it. And he fumbled. I think he fumbled for the first time all season in the Super Bowl, and after that, he was never the same Ray Rice.
Yeah. So, listen, turnovers. But even you agree, B. Like, turnovers matter, right? Like, you want your defense to produce turnovers more than just hold them. You want to give your offense more opportunities.
It matters more in the context of Baltimore, because they do not put emphasis on the offense. That's why it matters so much in Baltimore. But generally speaking, if you give up 17 points in a playoff game, your defense played really well. You don't expect defenses to do more than that, because the offense has to go out there and do their job. But in Baltimore, we ignore the O-line. We do the bare minimum that we can do at wide receiver. Up until last year, we don't go out and get top-tier running backs. We still have the guy we know is going to let us down in the playoffs every single year as our starting tight end in the playoffs. So, like, they handicap the offense, and then you look at the defense and you say, hey, if you're going to put all the resources into the defense, then they have to do more. They have to do better. They can't let Marquez Valdez-Scantling get behind them for 30 yards on 3rd and 9 when you need a stop. You can't do that. But if you're on a regular team that says, hey, we have a franchise quarterback, let's get a number 1 wide receiver, then just holding the other team to 17 or below 20 points is good enough. It's just not good enough in Baltimore, with the shortcomings in the roster and the obvious shortcomings on the coaching staff offensively.
Yeah. All right, good discussion. What's up, Garnett? Said we just need to score more points at the end of the day on offense. Well, you're not going to get more points on offense if you draft a safety in the first round
and an edge rusher in the second.
And an edge rusher in the second round. All right. I agree, Garnett, but you don't say, hey, we need more points. Let's get a safety. We need to get better at O-line. Let's not get a starting offensive lineman. You're absolutely right.
We finally got an elite player to pair with Lamar Jackson. You finally got an elite player to pair with Lamar Jackson. Let's not give him the ball.
Let's pass it to our tackle. With the resources they put on defense, that group better single-handedly win them a few games. Listen, Kelvin, this has been our argument since we started this channel. Our hashtag defund the defense. That's our point. You put all your resources into the defense, but where's the expectations for them to make plays in the playoffs? when have they made a play? Like, man, they guys really bailed out the offense. Like, man, like that was a great performance by them in the playoffs. Like, when has that ever happened under Lamar's run?
I'll say that the one time that I looked at them and I said, man, they played really well was ironically when Lamar Jackson was not there and they held Cincinnati to 17. Going against Burrow and Chase and Higgins, and knowing that you don't have your MVP at quarterback, holding them to 17 was outstanding, I thought. And then he said, North. I'll tell you what, I don't like this, Ivy saying. I think, we have to be accurate. He says, and you have 2 swinging glass doors at guard. You have 1 glass door. Falalele doesn't get hurt all the time. That's Voorhees. Falalele is made of tougher stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a steel.
Shout out to Antonio, man. My friend Antonio's in the chat, man. Appreciate you coming through. Says, what up, guys? I agree on all points made. We will win this year in spite of the coaching and team mindset. I hope so. I'm rooting for him. Mm-hmm. Oh, look, there's the crybaby, D Money. Everybody laugh at D Money. Everybody put laughing emojis for D Money. D Money, like, so how much the Ravens pay you? What you making? I said about $10-15 an hour. Is that what you're making over there in the mailroom? You hope they give you a shout out and they give you a car?
Oh, they averaged 26 points in one season, but the 6 prior years they averaged 13. Whoa. I like how people cherry pick certain stats to try to make their points. They don't look at everything in totality. They just want to say, you know what? Well, he did this year. Yeah, that was this year versus a bad Steelers team.
So why didn't they win? So D-Money, why didn't they win? And don't worry, Danny's gonna block you soon. Shout out to Danny. I saw you in here. Yeah. Why you can still type? Tell us how come we haven't won a Super Bowl yet?
I know you didn't call this man Vacation Voorhees, baby. Like, come on, man.
Zero said Vacation Voorhees will be there this year. I hope.
Oh Lord.
Garnett says, is that the guy that works at Circle K? No, Garnett, I think he must be, I don't know, he might work at, concessions at the games or something. You have to be employed somehow by the team to go this hard for the team. It makes no sense. This is a guy that was all in Coach Evans' comments on his video, because Coach Evans he criticized the team for not showing OTA stuff. Pay the Bill says, y'all leave Bobby T's burner account alone.
Listen, I don't mind trolls. I don't mind negative comments. My thing is, be a man and use your real account. Stop hiding behind these burner accounts so you can say what you want to say and then go run back to your mom's basement. Like, these guys hurt my feelings.
Please be careful. I'm always lurking. He's not able to type right now. Listen to Danity, okay? He's not able to respond. And you're wrong. That is not Bobby T's burner account. Bobby T is not a fan. His words.
Facts.
That's a fact. He's not a Ravens fan. So
you don't get
Bobby would never type anything like that.
Right.
Okay. I mean, except the clown part. He'll call us a clown, but everything else, he don't care about the Ravens like that. All right.
Not yet. That was point.
Yes. Facts. All right. Keep putting laughing emojis in there for D Money. All right. No, but I mean, so Coach Evans, he criticized the team for not showing any footage for OTAs they won, because why wouldn't you? It's OTAs. Like, what do you have to hide? Right?
All right.
What is it so important that you can't show media or anything like that? What it is them being petty. It's them trying to establish their dominance over us, just to let us know, hey, we control everything. We'll decide when you guys can see something and when you can't. That's all it is, and that's why we keep telling y'all, man, stop kissing their ass. All right, they're not your friends. They don't care about you. If we criticize them over something, first of all, it's valid, right? We're not haters. Don't get all emotional about it. If we say EDC is not doing a good job, why are you so upset about that?
Right.
EDC does not care about you. John Harbaugh damn sure doesn't care about you. he thinks very little of you. He thinks you guys are idiots. EDC does too.
And more to
right?
the point too, Eric DaCosta and John Harbaugh don't care what we say either. So why are you busy defending him?
Or do they? Or do they?
No.
We need to bring back the picture. We need to bring the picture back. The Super Friends picture.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, I gotta find it. That was in the StreamYard setup. All right, yeah, we're bringing it back. Yes, the defenders, the EDC defenders.
All right. So what I've gathered from looking at the current versus the previous Super Bowl rosters for Carolina and Baltimore is that they've not done a good job of keeping it together in Baltimore, building around their elite quarterback. Arguably at this point, one of the best to ever do it. And they have not put the kind of roster around him that they did for Joe Flacco, right? Where they were more balanced in the way they built the team, and that we all think that 2012 team is significantly better than the 2025 team outside of Lamar versus Joe Flacco, and that the Carolina Panthers are going to the Super Bowl. And we're done.
Is that the?
Look at that.
Is that you drew with that?
I forget. Maybe you weren't here when I mentioned it last week. The last two times that Carolina went to the Super Bowl, they opened the season at Jacksonville, and they're opening the season at Jacksonville this season.
I heard you. I was in the stream.
So, okay, well, you seem to have forgotten, so I'm letting you know. Carolina Super Bowl 2026, February.
All right, listen, we have a quick court of public opinion here, okay? This is petty crimes division, okay? This is petty crimes time. The Patriots versus Stefon Diggs. Have you read about this, Hendo?
I saw a little video of it.
Okay, I didn't see the video, but this is what was reported by Adam Schefter. Patriots wide receiver Stefon Diggs was not present for today's voluntary OTAs. One day after a video of the wide receiver surfaced on social media in which he was on a boat and flashed an unidentified pink substance while surrounded by 3 women. Buyer's remorse? Do the Patriots regret this move?
Nah. They need to have somebody around Rick, man. For what?
Because he doesn't fit their timeline, so what was the point?
I mean, that's true too. But I mean, when you look at if you see the video, he's just surrounded by some women. I didn't listen to the audio, but someone handed him a baggie or something, and he started talking and handed it right back. Like, what? He said, "I'm not on it." He said, "I'm not on that stuff."
Did he pass all? Does he pass all his drug tests? Yes. Then that's all that matters.
Well, and also, you did say voluntary OTA, right? So why are we talking about it at all?
He showed up to the other camp though. He showed up to other workouts. This was just the first one he skipped.
Okay, but they're all voluntary, right?
Except for mandatory.
Why are we talking about it? I mean, up to this point, they've all been voluntary.
But yeah.
Why are we talking about it?
Because he's got to show his dedication.
He's got to show the Patriot way.
He shouldn't be in party mode right now. He should be, it should be revenge season for Diggs. Okay, he needs to prove everybody wrong. Filthy says Diggs is washed. Well, I'll tell you what. If Diggs is washed, more reason to party it up.
They're gonna
more reason to be on that boat and party.
they're gonna win 6 games. He's gonna get cut or traded, and then forget this ever happened.
Yeah.
he's almost old enough to be a Raven. Couple more years.
I'm a washed athlete. I'm cooked, and I still get a multi-million-dollar contract. Let the good times roll, okay? Let the good times roll. So I have my guaranteed money. You can cut me whenever you feel free, whenever you feel ready to. What's up, Babe Kingdom? Free money at this point. That's right, Danity.
I thought she was talking about something else. I was like, what is wrong with you?
Not guilty, okay? My man is not guilty. He's living his life. He has achieved a high level of success in the league. He's made a lot of money, and he's going to keep playing until they stop cutting the check for him. So he's doing what he needs to do. And you know, and I don't care. The hell with the Patriots. The Patriots hired a young coach that I thought did a good job for, you know, giving him a crappy team, and they got rid of him for Mike Vrabel, thinking Mike Vrabel's going to do anything different or better over there. So they're not serious about winning either.
Thanks.
I don't care.
I'm going to say he's not guilty off the strength of Aaron Rodgers admitted to taking drugs on a yearly basis. And the NFL has done nothing about it. And he sucked the last 3 years. So, Stefon, get your money.
You can see him on his Netflix documentary taking drugs.
Yeah.
By the way, and this is, and I apologize, but this is way off topic. I mean, it's tangentially related, but am I the only one that thinks Joe Hendry looks like Aaron Rodgers?
Joe Hendry is the wrestler, right?
Like, yeah, I believe in Joe Hendry. Like, I feel like he looks like Aaron. He looks like
Aaron
Rodgers if he was a good guy.
When have you ever seen Aaron Rodgers smile?
Oh, I've seen him smile a lot when he's getting his way.
Joe Hendry has $1 million smile, and I literally mean that. That's going to make that man $1 million.
As does Aaron Rodgers. He got paid that to go talk nonsense to Pat McAfee.
I had never seen Joe Hendry until what was that? Was it WrestleMania or SummerSlam? Whatever the thing was. WrestleMania. He was a surprise. He was a surprise wrestler, and immediately I knew this man was going to be a star. He put on that spot. I was like,
hilarious.
He's got it. He's got it.
If you don't know who Joe Hendry is, which I gather a lot of people in the chat don't, go YouTube Joe Hendry. You can YouTube I Believe in Joe Hendry, or YouTube Joe Hendry songs, and you will be a Joe Hendry fan.
Songs.
He writes a bunch of songs about his opponents, and they're typically hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so open and shut case. He's not guilty. Let's get to some NBA talk real quick. Is there any games tonight?
Yeah, yes. The Timberwolves and Thunder.
Okay, putting them out the misery. Okay,
no, just started
so
30.
Yeah,
we're going
3-0 Minnesota.
Okay, all right, there you go. Stop the count.
Hold on. It was not Anthony Edwards. Never mind.
Of course it wasn't.
It was Julius Randle.
We're going to be talking about Anthony Edwards in the Overtime Show. Give you a little preview. Okay, go to our patreon.com/LBHT Show. The Overtime Show tonight is going to be revolved around Anthony Edwards. Perkins. Hold on a second. Perkins. Kendrick Perkins made a comment about how he can't be the face of the league because he's not a family man. All right. So we're going to discuss what does it take to be a face of a league on the Overtime Show. Now, first of all, just out the gate, Kendrick Perkins, if I say Kendrick Perkins said, you can go ahead and just tune out after that, because he never says anything that makes sense. But
well, the reality is, like, it doesn't make sense at all on this front, because Anthony Edwards has like 8 families. So why would he not be eligible to be the face of the league? Right?
He's the face of multiple leagues, right?
Right.
So, but yeah, we're going to talk about that. What does it take to be? It's twofold. What does it take to be a face of the league, and also just how bad mainstream media is right now? It is a cesspool. Okay, and a lot of it is your fault.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. I turned back and OKC's up 7-3 now. It was like 5 seconds. What happened?
It's over tonight. They're putting them out of misery tonight. And listen, Anthony Edwards wants to get back. He needs to meet Stefon Diggs on that boat. Okay, that's who he was talking to. That's who he was talking to off camera. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about that. It's gonna be a fun episode. So go over to patreon.com/LBHT Show. Sign up. It's only $5, and that's for the whole month. Okay, you also get access to our Discord channel. All right, and once you're in the Discord, you're in for good, unless you do something stupid like D-Money. Okay, don't be D-Money. All right, and Hendo, let the people know where they can find you. You also have a Discord.
Oh, you can find me at the Roug Pod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Blue Sky. I also have Patreon, patreon.com/ROUG. And just like these guys over here, you can get it for just $5 a month. And right now, I'm running a little special this weekend for patrons. I'm doing channel audits if they want to kind of help them grow their
We
channel.
already signed up for ours.
There you go. That's right. We're the first customers.
Don't laugh like that. I want you to take
You
it
don't,
seriously.
need it. You don't need it.
I want you to take it seriously.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Be professional. All right.
Jeez.
Also, LBHTShow.com. Buy some merch. You like what we're wearing here? All three of us. You like what Hendo's wearing? You can get that on the site too. LBHTShow.com. Buy some merch. Sign up for the newsletter. Yes, it's coming. Okay. It's not fake. All right. I'm not selling you lies. It's real. It's coming. All right. LBHTShow.com. And thank you, Danny. She posted the link in the chat for you. Go over to Hendo's channel, the Roug Pod, and subscribe right now. All right.
Yes, please. I'm 40 something away from 6,800.
There you go. So he's 247 away, or 147 away from. Wait, what did you at? 2,800? 247 away from 7,000. That's the goal. 7,000.
That's the goal.
I know math. All right.
You can get that on Duolingo as well, by the way.
Big Red said on Discord he'll gladly accept the channel audit. All right. There you go. Big Red is going to hit you up. And that's the other thing too. Discord, you really want to sign up to our Discord. Our Discord or Hendo's Discord. We're all kind of connected. Coach's Discord, we're all in each other's Discord. So you want to continue in conversations with us. That's a good way to do it. So Coach has a Patreon as well, patreon.com/slip2tally. Okay. We're all
especially if you're interested in college football 26, which is coming out July 10th. We have an online league going on for patrons, so you can hop in there and join that league if you're interested, if you're into that kind of thing.
All right. Thank you, Danny. And just to let you guys know, with the Discords, it's not just sports. We do life. Like, we are building a community, a family, and we do a lot of things. We talk about a lot of stuff outside the realm of sports. So it's not just that. It's whatever you guys want to talk about. Like, we are a connected bunch. Like you said, myself, them, Coach, all of us are connected. We're intertwined because this is a family. This is something that we're building together. So if you want to be a part of that, just come on.
All right. There you have it. Okay. So NBA talk. You have the Thunder up 3-1, and you have, surprisingly, not this guy, the Pacers are up 3-1 on the Knicks. Now, somebody earlier in the chat said, I think it was Jay, said Jose is smiling right now because I'm a fan of the other New York team. That's right. I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan. Okay. OTR Brandon is a Knicks fan, and he swore that the Knicks would win a championship before the Nets. Not this year, son. Not this year.
Wow.
Now, I did like how they look. The Knicks they're tough. They're not gonna go out without a fight. So I think they are gonna win the next game. Okay, they'll be out in 6. They'll be out in 6.
Knicks ain't winning tomorrow. Knicks are good.
I think that I agree, Danny. They're winning tomorrow.
Knicks
I think they're winning
Especially
tomorrow.
if Cat is out because they're evaluating his knee. So if he's not playing, oh my God, like, it's over.
And
they showed a lot of heart in Game 3
if
because
he is playing, they're gonna get curb stomped anyway. That series is done.
It's done, but I don't think it's done tomorrow.
No, it's done because they showed a lot of heart. When they came back and they won the game, right? And then they came out in this next game and they played well, they played hard, and they just weren't good enough. Now they're going to quit.
Facts.
No,
and they can't win it. And they can't win at home in the playoffs for some reason.
So one of my criticisms of Tom Thibodeau is he runs his players to the ground. He plays them into injuries, but they never quit. They are not quitters. This team is not going to lay down. They're going to lose, but they're not going to lay down.
Well, when I say quit, I don't mean like, they're not going to not try, but it's not going to be the effort that you saw in the third game. Right, they're going to go out there, they're going to play, they're going to go through the motions, and they're just going to get beat by 25.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's see who wins tonight. Thunder and the Wolves.
Well,
the
let
Wolves
me see if
say,
that
"Hey,
score
this
has
is it."
jumped up again.
The Wolves are going to win tonight.
Ooh, okay.
Oh,
You may want to
down.
reevaluate that because they are down 11-5 now. That's an 11-2 run.
Yeah, I think the Thunder are going to close it out tonight.
Ferris has been hot.
Where's Ferris? Defend yourself. What does Ferris have to defend? You ain't got to defend nothing.
No, Ferris does have to defend, because when I said don't be out there in Times Square like you just cured cancer because you won a second round series, he wanted to argue. He wanted to be like, oh, no, they should be, and it's a big game. It wasn't a big game. It was a second round series. And now you're seeing that it wasn't a big game. You spent all that emotional energy, and then you went out there and you got embarrassed on your home court twice, which effectively ended the series.
I don't agree the second round wasn't a big series. That's the defending champs. It's big.
I'm not saying don't celebrate. Nobody's saying don't celebrate. I'm saying the extent that they took it to. Like I said, they filled Times Square like they won their 6th championship in a row. They were out there throwing things at a dude in a Tyrese Halliburton jersey, chasing him out of the city, like literally chasing him down the street. Like, oh, they're on Twitter. This is for Melo. This is for so and so. Melo went to the conference championship already. Without you. Like, this ain't for Melo. Okay, it's Knicks fans being obnoxious Knicks fans, and it's why nobody who's not a Knicks fan can root for the New York Knicks. They do it to themselves. They do it to themselves constantly. They did it to themselves with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving when they were so certain that nobody would ever go to the Brooklyn Nets instead of the Knicks. Never mind the fact that you've never signed a meaningful free agent in your history. You do it to yourself when you think Giannis is coming. Why? Why would he go there? You do it to yourself when you talk about the Garden. The only thing the Madison Square Garden is famous for is opposing players coming in there and eating your lunch, right? True. Yeah, you don't win in the Garden. Like, that's Michael Jordan's house. That's Reggie Miller's house, and now it's Tyrese Halliburton's house. All right, that don't belong to the Knicks.
Ooh.
Facts.
The best player in your team's history couldn't make a wide open layup. Oh God, like it's too much. You need to sit back, all right, and you need to stay in your seat until you actually win something. All right, don't be out in the streets. Don't be out there flipping cars. I know they weren't flipping cars, but that's a Philly thing. But don't be out in the streets acting like you're a champion when you didn't even win your conference.
Damn. All right. B was cooking, and the Knicks are winning tomorrow. Okay. Big Cuz says, "Damn, Brodny."
It's Steph's house.
It's everybody's house.
Yeah,
everybody.
That Madison Square Garden is an Airbnb, and the Knicks don't ever say that.
New York is a funny place, right? Because yes, when they look like they're going to be good and successful, and that's in anything, they pump their chest out. People dust off their old New York stuff. I've been a fan since 1977. Okay, right? And they start yapping like they've been here the whole time. But if they lose, then everybody gets to join in on that conversation, right? Then everybody starts talking because they're gonna talk to everybody. They'll let everybody know New York is back. And if they win, they win, But if they don't, it comes right back to them.
Quick update for you, Hendo. OKC's up 19-7 now.
This series is over. This is over. The Timberwolves will try to make a run in the third quarter if it's not too far out of it. But
I bet they're trying to make a run now. It ain't working for them. We did have one real quick submitted question. Thank you very much, Jay6. He says that Nafisa Collier is going to win WNBA MVP, right? And I absolutely agree. Nafisa Collier is unstoppable. Asia Wilson may still be the best player in the league overall, but Nafisa is an absolute force on the offensive end. And I think I think that they're going to give her MVP, and I think a little bit of it will be the voter fatigue that we've seen in the NBA as well. But she absolutely, up to this point, absolutely deserves it, and deserved it last year as well. But Asia was just Asia.
Wait a minute. So it's not going to be Caitlin Clark. I told Caitlin Clark it was just she's like
Caitlin is
one year away.
Unfortunately, out for the next couple of weeks. with a muscle strain, and we all know that's like half the season in the WNBA.
Okay. All right. Yeah. The WNBA is packed with great talent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not in Chicago, but like,
not in Chicago.
Everywhere else.
Good Lord, man. How do you get worse than last year?
Because they're incompetent. Like you have the building blocks, right? And Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso. You've seen what they can do together. You've seen what they can be together. And they said, you know what? Let's not improve on that. Let's not build around that.
Mm-hmm. So obviously the most of the talk around NBA, 90% of it circles around Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, right? And most people will say, look, there's no competition. Caitlin Clark is just a better player than Angel Reese. She is a better player than Angel Reese. Me and B argue the gap isn't as wide as people make it seem, right? Caitlin Clark is an excellent player, no doubt. She's on a much better team. And Aaliyah Boston is an excellent player as well. There is no Aaliyah Boston on that Chicago Sky team. And if Aaliyah Boston was on that Chicago Sky team, we'd be talking about these teams a lot differently. Do not sleep on Aaliyah Boston. All right. So, and look, they
went out and brought in high level players who had been on championship teams as well to fill out that roster. Unlike somebody else, Chicago.
Yeah,
Chicago. Fun fact: Chicago's leading scorer last year, Kennedy Carter, averaged 17.5, who was coming off the bench, took a starting job, and was outside of Angel Reese, probably the best player on that team. Definitely the best backcourt player on that team. They said no, thank you, and she's now playing in Mexico. Guess what? They still don't have good guard play.
Right.
Very weird.
So that coach needs to be fired ASAP, and fire the GM too. Like ASAP, like right now. We don't need.
Fire the coach.
Yes.
But yeah.
They just started.
It's a guy, right?
He just started and he's doing a bad job.
Yeah, he's terrible.
3 games.
That didn't move me, so I don't
know. I'm asking.
Yeah, no, he can go.
Okay.
But Angel Reese, I think it's gonna be. They're both gonna be fine. Caitlin Clark gonna have a better career, probably. She's on a much better team. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. If this guy become competent, or if Angel Reese has to leave and go somewhere else. But I think when it's all said and done, Angel Reese is going to be, a really good player in the league. Caitlin Clark, people think Caitlin Clark is going to be the next Jordan of the league. That's not happening. She's not the best player in the league right now. That's Asia Wilson. She won't be the best player in the league once Angel Wilson hangs it up. That's going to be Juju Watkins. There's never going to be a time where Caitlin Clark is going to be the best player in the league. She'll be one of the best, but she will never be the best player in the league. She won't be the second best either. There's too much talent in this league. But just man, look, if you like Caitlin Clark, man, that ain't a bad player to like. She's really good. So just enjoy the games, man. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Dandy says the coaching is horrid. The guards are horrid. The bigs have trouble finishing around the rim. Yeah. Camilla 6'7" and hates to rebound. Yes. Camilla, she's got to do better, man.
Well, but that's why they paired her with Angel Reese, right? Angel Reese is already arguably the best rebounder in league history. And then they said, you know what? You know what would be really cool is if we didn't have anybody who could pass them the ball.
It is painful to watch them.
It is.
It's painful to watch them try to get the biggest players on the court the ball. Struggle. Gonna say Angel Reese is a JaVale McGee of the WNBA. No.
Garnett.
Well, first off,
timeout, Garnett.
First off, JaVale is a multiple-time champion. So
yeah, he is. He is. Unfortunately, Caitlin Clark turns the ball over a lot. Yeah, but that's what we're saying. Like people focus on Angel Reese and her missing a lot of shots and getting a lot of putbacks, and that's how she's getting so many rebounds. Caitlin Clark turns the ball over an extreme amount.
Big Cuz is putting that narrative out there. That's not true. Big Cuz they people have already done the statistics. You take away all of the rebounds that she gets off of her own shots, she's still the number one rebounder in the league.
Also, what's the hardest thing to do in basketball? Get offensive rebounds. Yeah, get offensive rebounds. Yeah, how come nobody else can get their own misses?
Well,
right?
How come nobody can take the ball
it's
from her?
Not easy. Right.
You know she can't shoot. Why can't you get the rebound from her?
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, and it's only her second year. She's going to clean up a lot of that stuff. She'll be a more efficient shooter, and then that's really going to be a problem.
Thanks.
Yeah, but I won't know about it because I will be supporting my Dallas Wings.
Whoa! No.
Who was having a fantastic start to her career, mind you.
It took one season.
Huh? No. Listen,
hold on.
I'm not gonna do this. Like I've been a fan, of a lot of teams, right, in basketball and football from when I was very young, and all of them were incompetent. The Panthers right now are trying to turn that around. The Lakers are still incompetent. I'm not gonna pick up a new team and have it start off with just terrible decisions. They traded the number 3 pick in the draft this year for a journeyman guard. Guess what else they traded? They traded next year's first round pick too. So what are we doing? I don't know, but it's not we anymore. Okay, it's y'all. What are y'all doing?
Hey, shout out to my fever. That's right, Aaliyah Boston.
Wait a minute.
Listen, Aaliyah Boston from the Virgin Islands, okay, where our family's from. She's from St. Thomas. Shout out to Aaliyah Boston. All right, I was always a fan, and let's go Fever.
They said he'll be at the games too if you want a jersey for the low. Thank you.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, Cam and Wings fans too. We
need a page back in Jersey. That's the only thing I like about Connecticut. That her and Maya Moore. Only two things I like about Connecticut.
What? She plays for Dallas.
I'm talking about the University of Connecticut.
What was that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Something with some terrible man that runs that team. I don't know.
All right. I'm
gonna be a Braves fan.
That's
I love the Braves.
Yes, Paige is legit.
Paige is
no doubt.
She's gonna be 10 times better than Caitlin Clark.
Ooh,
you think so? I promise.
I'm not even doubting you. I'm just
Caitlin is too good for anybody to be 10 times better than.
Okay, maybe not 10 times.
She's going to be a better player.
She's gonna be better. She's gonna be a better all-around player, and probably is already.
There's a lot of talent coming into the league. A lot of talent already in the league, man. Watch WNBA games. It's some good basketball going on right now. All right. Paige and Coop will save us. Don't forget Juju. Juju will be the one.
I mean, it's a lot of them. Hannah Hidalgo. It's a whole slew of them about to come out.
Whatever.
Who's the girl? Who's the girl that I like watching? The big girl. We call her the next chat.
Yeah. I can't remember her name now. Crooks.
I can't wait. Audie Crooks. I can't wait till she gets to the league. I cannot wait.
You need to get a mean streak. She gets a mean streak, it's over.
Yes. All right. That's it. That's the show. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. That's where you'll find us next. Go subscribe to the Roug Pod. All right. Go check him out. Subscribe. Help him get to 7,000 subscribers. Go over to our website, LBHTShow.com. Buy some merch. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out some of our previous episodes and videos. We're putting some more stuff out, so make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the good stuff. Audio form of this. If you listen to podcasts, we're on the audio form. Wherever you listen to podcasts, share it with your friends and loved ones because we're trying to grow over there. Leave us a 5-star review. All that good stuff. All right?
And I do want to point out, Jose's telling you to go and sign up for that newsletter at lbhtshow.com. That is not just going to be a newsletter where, hey, here's a link to the last show, here's a link to a video, whatever. It's going to be kind of interactive. There'll be, sometimes trivia, sometimes polls. And one of the very first polls is going to determine whether or not we continue doing a live show. So get signed up and vote.
We're
in
doing
that
a live
poll.
show.
Hey, listen, get signed up and vote in that poll.
Don't worry, they'll vote for a live show.
Okay, if they do, so be it. But you have to vote.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it. B, are you ready?
I am very ready.
B is very ready.
Almost
Thank you very much.
Time.
For you. All right. Thank you all very much. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you next time. Peace.